I take personal
okay.
exception. I take personal exception. I take personal exception not only to members in the Conservatives laughing right now, but also to somebody who is an innocent person being maligned by the Conservatives,
Well, all right.
and this is their go-to, their motto.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics. Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. Like, share, subscribe, get notified to watch these wild committee videos. This is probably the craziest one I've seen. Iqra Khalid is battling all the Conservatives, and she plays a very dirty game. This woman is not a great representative of our MP pool. She is the worst. Let's take a look. She battles everybody and only cares about herself. Watch.
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Khalid.
Even though I'm sitting quite far away from my Conservative colleagues, I heard one of them call Mr. Baines a liar, which I think is not only disrespectful but also goes against our standing orders.
On the same point of order.
Yes, Mr. Brock.
I'm sitting with my Conservative colleagues. I heard no such thing. But more importantly, I laugh at many things.
You laughed at it.
I laugh at many things. I didn't laugh at that because I didn't
You
hear
laughed
it.
at it.
Chair, on that same point of order, I'm actually getting quite frustrated. I'm sure other members are getting frustrated at the obvious attempts of this particular witness, a former Minister of the Crown, who is deliberately wasting time, not answering a direct question that's put to him, repeating the same talking lines over and over again.
Thank you.
From the same testimony
Mr.
that
Brock,
he gave at Industry on June the 5th, 2004.
Chair?
I'm asking the chair to interject and get this witness to answer the question.
Point of order, Chair.
Just one, I've got a couple of them lined up here. Mr. Cooper, I think did you have a point of order you want to make? No, okay, Ms.
I
Ms.
would
Kelly?
appreciate if Mr. Cooper would apologize to Mr. Baines for calling him a liar. We all know that when witnesses come to this committee, they are under obligation to be truthful, and I know for a fact that Mr. Baines, through his, not just his ministry, but also through the work he's done throughout his entire life, he's been a truthful and principled person. And I take personal exception.
Thank you.
I take personal exception. I take personal exception not only to members in the Conservatives laughing right now, but also to somebody who is an innocent person being maligned by the Conservatives,
all right.
and this is their go-to, their motto.
Why don't I hear from Mr. Cooper now?
Of hearing time and time again. This is absolutely unreasonable, Chair.
Thank you.
Well, on the same point of order, perhaps Mr. Baines can apologize to taxpayers
Okay.
for $400 million.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you. Thank you.
that's
Okay.
absolutely
Point of order,
ladies
Mr.
and
Chair.
gentlemen,
186
Retract
conflicts of
those
interest
comments.
that
Okay.
he-
All right.
that happened when he was the minister.
I'm not in a position to.
So standing order 117 says that, you have an authority to maintain order, but anything related to.
My job is to my job. According to the order. According to so the standing orders lay out my role, which is to attempt to maintain order and hopefully succeed that. In terms of any kind of censure, that needs to be reported to the House if you wish to pursue it. I'm going to go back to Madame Sinclair Desgagnés, s'il vous plaît. Vous avez la parole pour 2 minutes each. Mr. Cooper, you have the floor for 4 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Former Liberal Minister Baines, you led the committee to believe that you had no active role in the appointment of Ms. Verscheren beyond receiving a recommendation from the Prime Minister's Department, the PCO, as part of a so-called open, transparent, and merit-based process. You know that that isn't true, just as you knew it wasn't true when you misled committee in June. Isn't that right, former Liberal Minister Baines?
Thank you very much for the question. As I've highlighted before, Ms. Verscheren was appointed by Stephen Harper, Jim Flaherty, Christian
Former
Flaherty.
Liberal Minister Baines, let's follow the chronology of events leading to Ms. Verscheren's appointment, someone who was in a conflict of interest at the time that you appointed her. On March 15th, 2019...
Point of order, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Ms. Khalid.
Is the former employer of the official opposition's wife out of order in calling
Ms.
Mr.
Khalid,
Baines the
come on.
names that he's calling him?
You in fact are up next, so you will have a 4-minute right to the floor at which you'll be able to take full use of it. Mr. Cooper, you have just over 3 minutes, please.
Former Liberal Minister Baines, let's follow the chronology of events leading to Ms. Verscheren's appointment. In September and October 2018, the PCO received 54 applications for chair of SDTC. On March 15, 2019, they provided you with a short list of 5 recommended candidates. That's the process you keep referencing. You sat on your hands. You ignored the recommendation of PCO. In April 2019, according to Ms. Verscheren, you called her. You asked her to serve as the chair of SDTC. All of a sudden, on April 30th of 2019, 1.5 months after you had a short list of 5 recommended candidates, she applies, and on May 21st, 2019, the PCO adds her name to the short list, and you thereafter appoint her. Do you really expect this committee and Canadians to believe that she was picked as part of a transparent, independent, merit-based process, and that you didn't have your hand involved in picking her? Is that what you want Canadians to believe?
It was an open, transparent, merit-based process, and as I've highlighted, former Prime Minister
No, what happened here,
Stephen Harper
what happened, former
her.
Liberal Minister Baines, is that you didn't follow the process. You didn't respect the process. You politically interfered in the process.
As I was trying to state before, Ms. Verscheren was appointed by Stephen Harper to the Canadian North American Competitiveness Council in 2006. Jim
Did the
Flaherty
other
appointed her
5
to
recommended
the economic...
candidates have conflicts of interest with SDTC? Because Ms. Verscheren had a conflict of interest. What happened about the other 5 candidates?
Again, when we're speaking about Ms. Verscheren, I was highlighting the fact that she was appointed by Christian Parody, the former Minister to Science, Technology,
Mr. Baines, you're not
Innovation
answering my
Council.
question. I asked you, did the other 5 candidates also have conflicts of interest? Because Ms. Verscheren had a conflict of interest at the time you appointed her, $12 million that her company was receiving from SDTC, and you knew about that.
Mr. Cooper, I have a point of
All
order.
public
With all
office
due
holders.
respect,
Sorry, Mr.
and
Baines.
I truly respect Mr. Cooper, but he's asking the witness to opine on some other members that were part of a board. I just don't know what what Mr. Baines can say. We know that the former employer of the leader's wife is asking tough questions.
This is not a point
Well, it is a tough
of order.
Well, it would be dismissed. It'd be thrown out of court if it was a real court. But this is a kangaroo court.
As government members are prone to remind this committee, we are not a court. This is a question and answer session. So,
Thank you so much.
I've said that before many times because it is not a court. We're here to ask questions and receive answers. So, Mr. Cooper, you may proceed.
Mr. Baines, did the other 5 candidates have conflicts of interest as Ms. Verscheren did? Yes or no?
It's important to note that all public office holders must respect and follow the Conflict of Interest Act.
You were advised that Ms. Verscheren had a conflict of interest, and you appointed her anyway. I'm asking you about the other 5 candidates. You refuse to answer, and I take it that they didn't have conflicts of interest, and you appointed someone with a conflict because you don't give a damn about conflicts of interest. Isn't that right, former Liberal Minister Baines?
During my tenure, I made over 100 governor and council recommendations, and it's important that all those individuals that were recommended and ultimately appointed follow the Conflict of
You
Interest
knew she
Act.
had a conflict of interest. You
that
didn't
is the
give a
time,
damn,
Mr.
and as a
Cooper.
result,
Miss-
400
Mr.
million taxpayer dollars have gone out the door
Mr. Cooper,
improperly
I will just
following
remind you that
conflict-ridden appointment.
Mr. Cooper, I will remind you, as I was reminded today in the House, that we will use parliamentary language in this committee room. Ms. Khalid, you have the floor for 4 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Chair. And as much as I appreciate my opposition colleagues trying to get their clips for the Russian Rebel News, I do have some serious questions to ask our witness here today.
All right. Yes, Mr. Brock.
Here we go again with
the
yet
Russian Rebel
another
News.
Liberal who is trying to associate
Debate.
the Conservative
Okay.
Party of Canada
Okay.
with the Russian administration.
Mr. Brock.
There were members in the House.
Mr. Brock. Whoa. I did hear what was said by the member, and it has nothing to do with the Conservative Party. This is not a point of order, even if
Point of
it
order,
was.
Mr. Chair.
I'm ruling in your side's favor. So I'm going to give the floor back to Ms. Khalid, unless you actually have a genuine new point of order.
Well, I would invite Mr. Brock to look at the FBI records.
No, stop. All right. We really don't want to go down in the U.S. politics or bring U.S. politics into this committee room. Ms. Khalid, you have the floor, please.
Half your cabinet isn't, though.
Thank you very much, Chair. So I'm just going to put some things on the record with respect to the topic that we are talking about today. And Mr. Baines, I really appreciate your patience with our opposition colleagues on everything that they've been hammering at you with today. So Prime Minister Mulroney asked that Ms. Verschuren serve on his National Science and Tech Committee, and Minister Flaherty tapped her as an economic advisor to serve on his Economic Council during the 2008 recession. And she's donated to the Simcoe Gray Conservative Association between 2013 to 2015. She's donated to Lisa Raitt. She's donated consistently since 2013 to the Conservative Party federally, and also donated to the last 2 leadership campaigns. Can you help me in understanding how partisanship works with these kind of appointments, please?
Thank you very much for the question. As I highlighted, it's important to note that in 2016, there was a new process that was put into place. And this process was designed to encourage all Canadians to apply to various positions that were made available to different organizations and agencies. And the Prime Minister or the Privy Council office basically led this panel with the various departments. They ultimately made recommendations and brought forward names to the minister. Then the minister would make a GIC recommendation. As being discussed before, the process was open, it was fair, it was transparent, and specifically with regards to Ms. Verschuren, as you can tell, she had worked with the previous government in different roles. She also received the Order of Canada.
Thank you, Mr. Baines.
She was a well-recognized CEO.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Baines.
so,
and I'm sure that you'll be able to provide all of the rest of what you were going to say in writing for the committee to understand and appreciate. And given that we've been talking, sorry, Mr. Perkins, I couldn't hear myself over your voice, but given that we've been talking about the Auditor General's report and everything that has been going on, I do want to move a motion right now on this topic, and that motion is that the committee reaffirm the independence of the Auditor General of Canada to conduct her work free from interference, and echo the concerns of the Auditor General of Canada regarding the Conservative Party House Order of June 10th, 2024, that ordering her office to produce her audit file on Sustainable Development Technology Canada to the law clerk and Parliamentary Counsel compromises her independence and is likely to discourage departments, agencies, and Crown corporations from providing free and timely access to information required for her audits to go forward. And Chair, I would love to talk more about this motion, but I do want to make sure that that it's in order given the topic today.
Have you submitted the motion to the chair?
I am about to. I read it into the record right now, Chair, but I'm more than happy to put it into in writing for all members as well.
So you don't have it in?
I don't have it in writing right now, but I can get it to you as soon as possible.
All right.
Would you like to suspend while we do that?
What's a point of privilege? This is new. Yes, Mr. Perkins.
I'd like to raise a point of privilege. And I would ask, as part of that point of privilege, because the witness has refused to answer questions, he has repeated one line consistently for an hour, and obviously written by PMO to try and protect from the corruption. So I would move the following motion as a point of privilege, that the committee instruct the clerk and analyst to prepare a report to the House, which the chair shall table forthwith, outlining the potential breach of privilege concerning Navdeep Bains' refusal to answer questions which the committee put to him.
All right, I'm going to consult with the clerk here. I'm going to suspend for a few minutes. And in the meantime, Ms. Khalid, if you could send it in.
Speak about it as well.
Hold on, I'm going to suspend. Just once. I do not like to do this, but I can also see this is going to go on for a little bit. Mr. Bains, I'm going to excuse you because I know you had a.
Before
No.
that decision is made,
But-
I'd like to discuss that.
No. This I've got to suspend here to go over. I now have competing motions. Mr. Bains is on the clock. He made it very clear to me beforehand. Agree, no, just, I'm going to finish my thought here. I appreciate him coming. He was. I had also, through the clerk, discussed with him the possible and perhaps likely need that he might need to come back, and he is aware of that. So that is my ruling, Mr. Brock. Mr. Bains, you are excused. I appreciate you coming in, and I'm sure the clerk will reach out to you. Mr. Khalid Ms. Khalid had asked for some information, and if you could submit that to the clerk as well. In the meantime, I'm going to suspend just for about 3 minutes here, and if you could submit your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics. Oh, yeah. So what do you guys think of Iqra Khalid, gang? Does she have to go? Do we need an election? I feel that we do. I'm Aaron, this is Canadian Looney. We watch all the Canadian federal politics on here, learning about it, sharing it with you on here. Like, subscribe, share, get notified, all those fun things. We do a live show. Come watch that. We've got an amazing chat room, a great community. That is it. Till the next video, Iqra Khalid, go sit on it. What a bummer she is. We're out. Catch you next video. Thanks for watching this one.